How's it going, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with Week 8 college football prediction video. And I'd like to say, oh my god, I just got done watching the Red Sox game, and holy crap, it was awesome. My whole family was in here watching it, and it was just a blast. It was awesome. Man, I wish I was in Boston right now. God. Out of all the cities I visited, all the games I've been to, Boston by far Tuscaloosa is awesome. Nashville is awesome, but Boston tops them all. It's an amazing city, and it's one of the most passionate fan bases in the whole entire world. It's wow. I'm so glad that I've been a lifetime fan of the Red Sox, and it's awesome. It's an awesome time to be a Red Sox fan. That was awesome. It was an awesome game. David Ortiz is clutch. It's clutch as it can be. But this video is not about that. It's about college football predictions. And as always, it's late, and I gotta make this kind of quick. Hopefully I can make it quick. I'll try my best. But I do want to say, we had our first game of the season tonight in intramural full field, and we won. And I'm getting people to record the game, so I might be coming out at the end of our season a highlight video of just some clips from the season. I thought that'd be pretty awesome for you guys to see me in action. We got I think we were down 12-0, came back, won 19-12. Had those 3 touchdown passes, but didn't play so well early on. But we came back strong and won. But hey, with that said, I will go ahead and make this video. All right, first of all, we have Louisiana-Lafayette at Western Kentucky. I'm gonna go with Western Kentucky. Bobby Petrino playing at home, prime time. Even though it's on a Tuesday night, it's smart for them Sunbelt schools to come out, show themselves in front of the country on ESPN at night. But I'll go Western Kentucky in that offense with Bobby Petrino. 34-28, because Louisiana-Lafayette with Terrence Broadway quarterback, they can score some points, but I got Western Kentucky at home. Alright, Thursday night matchup. Pretty good matchup here. We have Miami, who snuck into the top 10, ranked number 10 in the country, at North Carolina. North Carolina can put up some points, but their defense, man, they're horrible. They are absolutely horrible. Duke Johnson's going to have a field day. Stephen Morris is going to throw for 300 yards. But like I said, though, anything, I'm getting so many updates here, but like I said, anything can happen on Thursday night games, especially playing at home. So watch out. It'll be a little bit closer than some people think, but Miami, Stephen Morris, they'll have a huge game. I'll go 35-24. Miami over North Carolina. They'll keep it a little bit closer than people think. They have a good offense, good quarterback, Bryn Renner, a really good tight end, but Miami will get the victory somehow. Next, we have Friday. This is probably the toughest game left on Louisville's schedule, probably their toughest game of the season. We have Central Florida at number 8, Louisville. The Friday night primetime game in Louisville, and I think it will be extremely tough. Louisville did struggle last week, but it wasn't just Teddy Bridgewater. It was the whole offense. They couldn't run the ball. The defense played well, but they could not run the ball, and that really kind of messed up the passing game as well. But playing on home in front of all their fans, it's going to be tough for Central Florida to get the W. Central Florida is a team that's battled with teams like South Carolina. They have a great quarterback, who I think is the second best quarterback in the AAC, and Blake Bortles, really good running back, and Storm Johnson. Who did Central Florida play today? Are they coming off a bye? Yeah, they're coming off a bye. They had a tough game against us. Yeah, that was right. They had a tough game against South Carolina. They came back next week, and after an emotional loss, almost got beat by Memphis. But still, this is a good Central Florida team. Good running backs, good wide receivers, great quarterback. They'll keep it real close. I think they might. They'll give Louisville a shot. They might be tied with this game at the fourth quarter, the start of the fourth quarter. But I don't pick against Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's the best quarterback in football. I'm actually writing an evaluation essay for my English class on him right now, and he's a heck of a quarterback. He will not let them lose. He will not let them be denied perfection. And I'll go Louisville 38-31 over Central Florida. Nah, I don't know about that. No, let's go 34. Let's go 34-24. I don't think Central Florida's offense can score that much on Louisville's defense, but they will keep it close. I'm liking 34-24. All right, now we have South Carolina at Tennessee on the Saturday night games. I think Tennessee can play. They can play tough against South Carolina. I mean, play tough against Georgia, but South Carolina's getting things back. Connor Shaw's healthy again. And playing in Knoxville, that'll be kind of tough, but I think Connor Shaw's gonna have a field day. I think Clowney might actually have a big game. He actually played all last week. Maybe he'll get injured during the week, but he should have a big game. I don't believe Tennessee's offensive line has really disappointed me. I thought that could have been the best D-line or offensive line in the SEC, but it's not lived up to their expectations. South Carolina by 2 touchdowns, 34 to 20 over Tennessee. Next we have Georgia at Vanderbilt. Georgia's beat up. They really are. Sorry, I'm texting my friends about the game. What the frick? What was I talking about? Georgia, Vanderbilt. Georgia's been beat up. They got beat down pretty bad by Missouri last week. And, Vanderbilt's another team that got beat up pretty bad by Missouri. So Missouri's running through the SEC. But, playing in Vandy. I think preseason I picked Vandy to win this game. Yeah. I think Vandy can do it. Georgia's just too beat up. Really depends on if Todd Gurley can play, and I'm not sure if he can. I mean, so many weapons lost. I think Vanderbilt can come out and get a win over Georgia. Outscore them. I think it can be extremely high scoring. I'm going to go 38-35 Vanderbilt over Georgia. I think Austin Carter-Samuels has a big game. Vanderbilt's just ready to get that big win. I think they can beat Georgia. Not because Georgia's a bad team, but heck, they're just completely decimated with all the injuries, and that was shown last week. So I think Vanderbilt gets the W over Georgia, 38-35. I think Aaron Murray, he's a heck of a quarterback, one of the best in the country. I think he keeps him in the game, but him alone will not be able to do it. Defense is bad. The offensive line, not so great. Skill position players right now, subpar. Vanderbilt finds a way to get the win. If Georgia's full force, they get the W, but Vandy, with a decimated Georgia team, gets the win. Next, we have Texas Tech at West Virginia. Texas Tech still undefeated on the season. I think they'd come out of this game undefeated. It'll be tough to go, though, playing in West Virginia. West Virginia, their last home game against the top 25 team, against number 11 Oklahoma State, and got the W. I think West Virginia's defense is a little bit better than some people think. Take out the Baylor game, because Baylor's just ridiculous. They're like the Oregon of the Midwest. But, I think Texas Tech goes in there with whatever quarterback ends up playing. They can score enough points to outscore West Virginia. West Virginia's offense is nothing compared to last season's. That's where they lose this game. Because Texas Tech's defense, hey, they're underrated. Actually playing some pretty good D there under Cliff Kingsbury. So I'm going to go Texas Tech. Semi-low scoring game, 27-20 over West Virginia. Next we have TCU at Oklahoma State. TCU's that kind of team that's been hanging in there, playing tough with the teams that they should be getting beat by, losing by a little bit, and then the teams they should obliterate, like Kansas, they're letting them hang in there. So, with the way they've been playing, though, I expect them to be in this game, but I think Oklahoma has too much firepower on offense. Whoever plays whoever plays quarterback, wide receivers are always stout. Just great offense under Mike Gundy. They'll be playing in Bedlam Stadium. I'd say Oklahoma State with the W. I think they can score enough points. I'll go 42-30 Oklahoma State over TCU. Next we have Minnesota at Northwestern. Northwestern coming off 2 straight losses. 2 devastating losses, of course, the one against Ohio State, which they should have won, and then the one they got obliterated last week to Wisconsin. I think everybody could have seen that one coming. Minnesota, without their head coach for the 15th straight week, pretty much because of all the seizures and I think epilepsy he has. Not sure. But Northwestern finds a way to win this game, gets back on track, gets back in the win column. Kane Coulter, I'll expect to have a big game here at home in front of about 10,000 fans maybe, because they don't show up for these early mid-tier Big Ten matchups. Northwestern, I'll give them 40. I'll give them 41. Let's go 42-20 24 over Minnesota. Next, Purdue at Michigan State. Purdue's just been bad, pretty bad. I think they might be the worst Big Ten team right now. What's the coach's name? Came from Kent State. Daryl something. He came in and he inherited a bad team to say the least. Michigan State, man, they put up some points last week. That's been the negativity surrounding that football team is the offense. If the offense can't score any points, the defense is good, but the offense is nowhere. They scored 42 points last week. I'm honestly not sure how many of that was defense or if any of it was defense, but still, 42 points is a lot of points put up. So I think Purdue, no chance in this game playing in East Lansing. Michigan State, big, 32-14 over Purdue. Let me send this text message real quick. Alright, now we have Southern Miss at East Carolina. You got to go with East Carolina. Southern Miss hasn't won a game in God knows how long. East Carolina can put up some points, and they're not a bad CUSA school, so no chance for Southern Miss in this one. 45-20 East Carolina over Southern Miss. Man, I'm acting kind of funny in this video. I'm just tired, guys. You gotta see exactly. Gotta forgive me. SMU at Memphis. Memphis probably the worst team or second worst team in the AAC right now. Beat by Houston last week, who's still undefeated. And I want to check, if you guys don't mind, just a second, if Houston's got any votes yet, because they're undefeated. I know that the competition haven't played is that stiff, but still undefeated this late in the season. They should be getting some recognition in the top 25 poll. I think SMU goes in there, scores enough points to beat Memphis. Memphis not on par with other teams in the AAC right now. SMU, June Jones offense gets the win, 32-21 over Memphis. Next we have Connecticut at Cincinnati. UConn, just not a good season. Didn't they get beat by South Florida last week? Yeah, South Florida got the win 13-10. They scored a late field goal. Connecticut, I believe they're also winless on the season thus far. I could be wrong, but I believe they are. Yep, they are winless. They're 0-5. They fired their head coach a couple weeks ago. Cincinnati, good school, good offense, good quarterback in Brendan Kay. They'll score enough points. They'll win pretty big. Although 38-17, Cincinnati over Connecticut. Next we have Navy at Toledo. Navy blown out last week, and that really did shock me. And they started out the season pretty strong with a couple wins over. I think they beat Indiana early on. Yep, they beat Indiana, and then they beat Delaware, lost to Western Kentucky, beat Air Force, and that's who it was. I couldn't remember who they lost to last week. They got blown out by Duke. I thought that was going to be close. I think I picked Duke in the game, but didn't expect it to be a blowout like that. So I think they go into Toledo. The quarterback there at Toledo, the lefty, he's good. He's a playmaker. He can run. Toledo can score some points, and I think they beat Navy. Navy's just not been the same team ever since that Western Kentucky game. They've had struggles really scoring points. So let's go with Toledo. 34-17 over Navy. Next we have Florida at Mizzou. Mizzou, we know, is undefeated, 6-0 right now, and no losses in SEC play. And I believe this is going to be their first one. It sucks, though, that they did lose James Franklin for this season. But coming out of high school, Matty Mock was highly, highly touted by scouts, by the recruiting boards, by the Missouri staff. Just insane stats. He was a stat machine in high school. Very comparable, I believe, to Chase Daniels. Very similar in stature. They both can run. They're both stocky. And he's very comparable. But until he's proven as a pretty good quarterback, as a solid starter, I can't pick Florida. I know it's going to be tough, though. I say this every week for every team that Florida plays. Their offense is bad enough that no matter who they play, no matter how bad their offense is or how bad their defense is, that team will stay in the game against Florida just because their offense can't score points. So I expect that to be the case. I expect Missouri to hang in here to the end of the game. I believe they have a chance to win. I really do, just because Florida's offense is that bad. But it's going to be difficult for Matty Mock going against one of the best defenses in all of college football. Might be the best defense in college football, but the offense, Florida's what's going to keep it close. So Florida will win. Extremely close. I can't go with the freshman. I believe he's a redshirt freshman now, Matty Mock, against that Florida defense. But we'll have to see how he plays. He could come out and shine. But let's go Florida. Go Florida 24, Missouri 21 in a close one. But it could go either way. That's a tough one to pick there. It's hard to pick for the freshman quarterback. Alright, here we go. Syracuse at Georgia Tech. Battle of the new ACC member, Syracuse at Georgia Tech. Not sold on Syracuse defense. Good quarterback, though. He can put up some points. So expect this to be closer than some people think. Georgia Tech blown out by BYU for the second straight year last week. And we have some Georgia Tech fans now calling for Paul Johnson's head, trying to get him fired. So if he does not win, hey, the floodgates could be coming on in Atlanta, and Georgia Tech could be. Paul Johnson could be seen his last days in Atlanta. And for that reason, I don't think Paul Johnson lets them lose. I think they'll be able to score enough points, be able to expose that defense of Syracuse, and they should win pretty big. I'll go 45-28, Georgia Tech over Syracuse. Next, we have Akron at Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio is horrible, horrible, horrible. Akron is horrible, horrible, but they're not horrible, horrible, horrible. They actually stayed in the game against Northern Illinois last week. But so on that note, let's go Akron. Miami, Ohio, I believe. I can't remember who I picked last week in that game. I picked against them, and they ended up losing. It was Massachusetts. It was 2 0-5 teams coming into a matchup, and I choose Miami, Massachusetts. So I got that one right. But let's go Akron 24-21 over Miami, Ohio. Army at Temple. Army can score some points now. They scored 50 last week, if I'm not mistaken. It was against Eastern Michigan. They're first in the country in passing yards, and they're second to last in passing yards. 352 rushing yards per game, and yeah, they're putting up some points this season. They put up 27 against BC, 28 against Morgan State, 35 against La Tech, and 50 last week against Eastern Michigan. They're putting up some points. I think they can get the W against Temple. Temple's a bad team. They are still winless on the year. Just not a good squad whatsoever. They even lost to Fordham. That's what it was. They lost to Fordham and Idaho. I was really confident when Temple played Idaho. So I thought there was no way Temple was going to be able to lose to Idaho, and they did. Can't pick for Temple this game. Going Army. 2 touchdowns, 31-17 over Temple. Ohio at Eastern Michigan. Ohio got me, disappointed me last week. They lost to Central Michigan 26-23. I thought Tyler Taylor in that offense was going to whip up on Central Michigan, and they didn't. So let's go Ohio again. Have faith this week. They'll rebound and beat the East Michigan team, which is probably the worst team in the MAC. Let's go Ohio. Let's reverse that score a little bit, kind of. 27-20. Ohio at Eastern Michigan. Charleston Southern at Colorado. Enough said. Colorado big, 45-10. Ball State at Western Michigan. Ball State a very good squad. Going to compete for the MAC title over one of the worser teams in the MAC. So Ball State keeps winning. Great quarterback. Can sling the ball around, score some points. 42-20 over Western Michigan. Colorado State at Wyoming. Colorado State battled with San Jose State last week, and I expected that to be a battle because those guys play some football under Jim McElwain, and then you have San Jose State with an amazing quarterback in David Fowl. So I know that's going to be a tough game, but they face another quarterback in Brett Smith, who is top 10 in the country right now throwing the football. So it's going to be tough playing in Wyoming. And I'm going to give a nod to the team with a better quarterback. Brett Smith, Wyoming, and another close one. Colorado State's going to come a little bit short just again for the second straight week. 31-28, Wyoming in this one. Northern Illinois at Central Michigan. Central Michigan was the team to kill my pick last week when they upset Ohio. And Northern Illinois is coming off a extremely close win against Akron. They're still in the top 25, number 23 in the country, trying to keep their way up to at least number 16 in the country to try to get BCS Bowl eligible. So I think they'll come out. They'll be ready. They don't want to drop in the rankings. The rankings are too precious for them right now. I think Jordan Lynch bounces back, has a big game. I'll go 42-24 with Illinois at Central Michigan. And here we go, guys. Here we go. Here's the announcement if you haven't heard so far. Kent State at South Alabama. I'll actually be broadcasting this game live on the radio. So that's awesome. And if you're interested in that, I will post. I think I'll post a link Wednesday whenever my show comes on. And so you can listen. And the same link to that will be the same link you listen to for the broadcast. So there you go there. With that said, we're not a bad team, man. We have lost 3 games this season. We've lost to, okay, you got me on the first one, Southern Utah. I don't know why. We came out and we're so flat in that game. We're extremely flat. And hey, it came down to 1 point. We lost 22-21 on a last-second field goal. It was a complete exposed play. We had it's just a fluke. Wide receiver for Southern Utah was completely open. Nobody was covering him, and he got to the 10-20 yard line on a pass with 40 seconds left. So that's really what screwed us up there. We lost by a point, and our kicker missed a field goal in that game too. So that was ridiculous. But that's why we lost that game at 1 point. Then we won against Tulane. That was our program's biggest win. We went the next week and beat Arkansas State, who was the favorite to win the Sun Belt, and that was considered our team's biggest win in the history. And then we go to Knoxville, Tennessee, and come up 7 yards short of at least tying the Tennessee Volunteers. And Joey Jones said after the game he would have gone for 2 if they would have scored there. So, man, that is awesome. And then we come out last week and play the Troy Trojans, which is our team's rival, and lose again by 1 point because our kicker missed an extra point, a field goal, and which made us go for 2 twice, and we didn't get it twice. So that's 1, 2, 3, 6 points left off the board right there. We lost by 1 point. So we'll come out coming off a bye week. We're going to be fresh. We know Kent State has 2 running backs, Travion Durham and Dree Archer, that can run the football. Their defense has been bad. The turnover margin has not been anything like it was a season ago, which really allowed them to be the team they were last year. If we can stop the run, I believe we can win this game fairly easy, and I think we'll be able to stop it enough for us to get the victory. Ross Matheny's been playing great. So has Brandon Bridge. The QB combo really has. I'm not really a fan of it, but it works for us somehow. So I think we come up, we play big, we get the win by 10 points. I'll go 31-21 at South Alabama over Kent State. Yeah. All right, Iowa at Ohio State. God, I hope one of these Big Ten one of these Big Ten teams can beat Ohio State, but I don't see it happening. Iowa is that kind of team though that keeps they're that team. They're that traditional, stereotypical Big Ten team that always has those odd scores. Always kicks field goals at 17-13 going into the fourth quarter. 10-7, 6-9, those weird scores. So watch out if they can keep Ohio State to field goals. That's the key for Iowa in this one. Keep Ohio State out of the end zone and force them to kick field goals. And if that's the case, Iowa will come back and kick some field goals of their own. But playing in Columbus, Ohio State, Braxton Miller, the team is too fast for Iowa's slow defense. Mark Wiseman though. Expect him to have a big game because I'm not really sold on Ohio State's front 7. But I don't think there's a chance there's not a chance that Iowa wins. So I'm going to go Ohio State 34-20 in this one. Auburn at Texas A&M. Okay. Man, this is a tough one. Texas A&M at Kyle Field. Playing against number 24 ranked Auburn, coming off pretty much a bye week, playing Western Carolina for the homecoming game, gave them 62-7 or 62-3, something like that. And now you have Texas A&M coming off an emotional loss, and that's something I really put into consideration when picking games. Teams coming off emotional losses, That is huge. I mean, that's why I thought the Georgia-Tennessee game was going to be close. That's why I thought Georgia was going to lose to Missouri last week, and that's I really put consideration of that. So on that fact alone, I think this game's going to be a lot closer than some people predict. Now, granted, Texas A&M's defense is bad, so I think Auburn won't have any problem either way scoring points. But on the other hand, the defenses, I think Auburn's defense is a little bit better than A&M's, but when you compare the offenses, this is how it goes. If you can even see this, Auburn's defense is here, A&M's defense is here, about here. Then you got Auburn's offense, about right here, and Texas A&M's offense. So which is the bigger gap? And plus, you got home field advantage, which makes it more like that. So if you like my little hand analogy there, I'm going to go A&M close. Very close. I think Johnny Manziel will not let his team lose. We found out last week when all looks bad for A&M, they find ways to win. However, they end up doing it magical ways. They find ways to win. I'm going to go Auburn. Wow. I'm going to go Auburn to lose. Close. 45-42. A&M over Auburn. That's going to be a fun one, but too bad. I'll be broadcasting the game. Hopefully we'll have a little TV set up in the booth, in the press box, whatever. Alright, here we go. Why is, okay, never mind. I was about to say, why is game day not at Stanford? But, hey, there's Florida State Clemson game later. That's a pretty good game themselves. But you have UCLA at Stanford. And Stanford really exposed last week. Utah and Travis Wilson really lit them up. He had a big game. Their offense couldn't do anything. That was Keith Hogan's first loss as a starter, so that was kind of crazy. Playing at Stanford. Man, this is the game that really can show if Stanford's actually going to be able to match up with Oregon. Because UCLA is kind of like a mini version of Oregon. Not necessarily a mini version, because I think they deserve more respect than being called a mini version, but you know what I'm saying. They're like Oregon, but not as good as Oregon. A good quarterback, a speedy offense. So if Stanford can handle UCLA, we'll be able to tell if that's really going to be a worthy top 10 matchup, top type matchup of the year, Stanford versus Oregon. But you have UCLA actually beat Utah in a close one, so I expect this one to be close. Hey, don't knock Utah; they're a good team. But I think UCLA can win. I think they go in there. It's going to be tough. I think Stanford's defense is hungry for a win. They don't want to be beat twice in a row. That's a tough 2-game stretch. But I think UCLA pulls it out. I think Brett Hundley will have a big game. I think Keith Hogan and that offense will do whatever they can. Ty Montgomery's a playmaker. They'll do whatever they can to get the win. And but UCLA, Anthony Barr is going to wreak some havoc on Keith Hogan. Keith Hogan is pressured in this game a lot by Anthony Barr. This could turn into a little bit more of a blowout than some people can think. But going UCLA close, 27-24 over Stanford. Next we have Oklahoma at Kansas. Kansas is not a good team. Still hasn't won a conference game in 3 years, and I'm a fan of Kansas. I try not to dog them on here, but I don't think they can match up with Oklahoma. Oklahoma's had a bad game. Blake Bell, kind of reminiscent of a couple of years ago. You had Texas, Oklahoma. Teams were evenly matched. Landry Jones is the quarterback, and you had these unproven guys really come in there who had played pretty well. It was David Ash at the time, and Case McCoy. They had played pretty well up to that game. Then they play horrible and get absolutely shell-shocked by Oklahoma. Same case here. You have a guy in Blake Bell who's played pretty well since he took over. The Oklahoma offense was struggling mightily early on with Trevor Knight making a switch to Blake Bell. It seems like last year's offense just comes back just like that. But then coming against a guy that's pretty much proven, Case McCoy, who started, and a guy like Blake Bell, who's not necessarily proven in matchups like this, and they get shell-shocked. Blake Bell struggled, but they won't struggle twice in a row. They come back. and they get back on track with the big win over Kansas. I'll go 42-17 in this one. Next, Indiana at Michigan. Michigan coming off the loss, not sold on Michigan whatsoever. I think they're going to be down after that emotional loss. There you go, another emotional loss. Playing in the Big House. Big House fans are going to be behind that Michigan Wolverine offense. But here's an upset going Indiana over Michigan. They'll score a lot of points, Indiana will. And that's where Michigan's really hurt is when offensive speed is matched up with their slow defense. And I know Indiana was beat pretty bad last week. What was the final score? But no matter what the final score was, I still believe their defense is. Their offense is good enough. That was Michigan. It was 42-28. They scored some points. There you go. That shows you right there. They scored a lot of points on an extremely good Michigan State defense. 28 points is a lot considering how good Michigan State's defense is. So I believe they go into Michigan and they handle Michigan and give them their second straight loss. I go Indiana, 35-31, 35-32 over Michigan in a close one. That's probably my upset pick of the week. Maryland at Wake Forest, still not sold on Wake Forest whatsoever. I believe Wake Forest beat who did they beat? They beat NC State. That's who it was. So that shocked me because I don't think Wake Forest is good at all really because they have a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong, their quarterback. They have a great wide receiver, Michael Campanaro, good running back, and Josh Harris. But the offense they're trying to force on Tanner Price, the option stuff, he's not comfortable at all running that type of offense. He's more of a drop back passer. I mentioned this before. And you can't really force that onto somebody like that. I don't understand because Jim Grove's more that old-minded kind of fella, and he's trying to, for some reason, force his option offense on a guy that obviously doesn't handle it well. So I think Maryland comes in, gets the win. Did they end up beating Virginia last week? I can't remember, man. They did, wow, by 1 point. Wow, that's a shocker there. But I think they can handle Wake Forest, C.J. Brown or not, if he's healthy or still out of this game, I'm not sure. But I'll go Maryland 28-21. BYU at Houston. All right. Man, I want to go with Houston because I want Houston keep going undefeated and gain some momentum in the top 25 poll. If they beat BYU this week, they'll jump up in the top 25 poll. I guarantee it. Yay! They finally got votes in the AP poll. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Makes them 37th in the country right now. So they have votes. Oh, never mind. Utah's getting votes. Oregon State's getting votes. Oregon State's a heck of a team. I know they lost. If they didn't lose to Eastern Washington week 1, they'd be in the top 10 right now. Definitely. Sean Mannion's a heck of a quarterback. That's so off topic, but I think BYU can beat Houston. Yeah, I know I say I love it when teams go undefeated, and they're not expected to. Don't go undefeated all the way, but are 7-0, for example, like Houston is. I know they haven't played the stiffest of competition. I love it when teams find ways to win, even when they're not great. That inflates their ranking, but that's how I like college football. That's really how I like it. So I'll always root for scenarios like this, but I really don't see a scenario that BYU loses. Too strong of a defense. Kyle Van Noy's a heck of a player, good quarterback, and Taysom Hill. Houston's not even played. They played pretty bad competition, and then they're not really blown out anybody. A freshman quarterback, even though they're playing at home, don't see him beat BYU. I think BYU can handle Houston pretty well, even though I'll be rooting for Houston in this game. But I'll go BYU something like 38-20. I don't even know if they score 20. 38-17. Houston over Houston. Duke at Virginia. Virginia coming off an emotional loss. Key there. Duke coming off a big win over Navy. Duke will beat Virginia. They'll score some points. Their quarterback can throw the football around. Virginia's kind of not where they expect. I expected them to be, especially after that. The week 1 they beat, like I just mentioned, Purdue. What the frick? BYU. They beat BYU week 1. That really did surprise me. And since then, got absolutely destroyed by Oregon, lost to Pitt, lost to Ball State by 21 points, by 3 touchdowns. They come out lost by a point to Maryland. 3 straight losses. They won't get on track. Maryland, what the frick? Duke will come out and beat them by 2 touchdowns. That's right. 34-21 over Virginia. Massachusetts at Buffalo. Buffalo can score some points, and that's why I'm picking them to play at home over Massachusetts. We got their first win of the season against an also winless Miami, Ohio. Buffalo, the better team, definitely. I would bet some good money on them winning by more than 3 touchdowns. I'll go 45 to 17 over UMass. Now we have Washington. No, we have North Texas at Louisiana Tech. Quick here, North Texas score some points. Louisiana Tech, Scotty Young, young program. Young team, young players. They lost so much. They're not going to compete with North Texas. North Texas will score a ton of points. Another 42-24 type game. North Texas. Washington at Arizona State. And here we go again. Sound like a broken record. Washington coming off 2 emotional losses. Got beat down pretty bad by Oregon, but they're in it for most of the game until the very end. And they coming off that crazy loss to Stanford the week before. So, hey, Arizona State, they're well rested, playing at home, a great quarterback in Taylor Kelly. But I fully expect Washington to come in, play their butts off, but I think they get handed to them their 3rd straight loss. Arizona State gets the W. Close, 34-31 over Keith Price in Washington. I think Taylor Kelly is a heck of a quarterback. They did get beat by Notre Dame, but they're ready to off the bye. I'm pretty sure they got a bye week last week. Could be wrong, but if they did, I still think they can beat Washington either way. No, they played Colorado last week, but throttled them. So that's just pretty much a bye week there. So there you have it. They get the W. 34-31. All right. Arkansas at Alabama. I'll come out with a preview video Tuesday probably for this one. But Arkansas, if you disregard last week, they've been playing better than what I expected. They were absolutely throttled last week by South Carolina. And we've been playing a lot better. We're going to be playing at home at night. No problem for us. I don't see us struggling at all. Big win again. I'll give Arkansas a bit more leeway than Kentucky, but I'll go 45-14 Alabama over Arkansas. Next, LSU at Ole Miss. LSU's ranked number 6. What? How is LSU ranked 6? What the frick? Okay. I expect them in the top 10, but not maybe 10, not 6. Wow, that's just a shocker above Louisville. Ole Miss playing at home under the lights, but here we go, an emotional loss. But here, can Bo Wallace and that offense respawn? I'm not sure. LSU's does not have a good defense. They only gave up 6 to Florida. But hey, Florida, bad offense. I think Ole Miss can score some more points. They're in the midst of a horrible schedule, like frick. Alabama, A&M, LSU. I think they go to somebody at Florida next week. Georgia, I'm not sure. But LSU, I think, wins. They have an extremely good offense now. Cam Cameron's made a world of difference, especially in Zach Mettenberger's play. He might be the 2nd best quarterback in next year's NFL draft. I still believe far and away Bridgewater's the best, but LSU, I give them a 10-point victory, 37-27 over Ole Miss. Iowa State at Baylor. Baylor did struggle last week against Kansas State, but I think they get back on track. They don't want the country doubting them. They'll come back and have a big game. I think they tried too hard, really, to have that big win against Kansas State. They really showed the country that they were for real. I think they are for real. I think they have a great offense, but they did struggle. Teams struggle from time to time. Teams aren't awful. I hate when people say teams are awful. I've read so many messages and so many comments on message boards saying Baylor's a joke, because they beat Kansas State not by 70. People just look to bash teams whenever they have an opportunity to, even though it makes them look like idiotic. So if they come back, beat the Iowa State team, which is not that great, pretty big. I'll go 55. 24. That's just what Baylor does. Alright. I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull the upset here. Probably the biggest upset pick of the week here. Yeah. Yep, it's going to be Old Dominion at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off a bad offensive performance against a good defense in Virginia Tech. And Old Dominion, I honestly, I'm not sure what the record is right now, but I do know they have an extremely high-powered offense, a good quarterback in Taylor Heineke. I know they're a transitional FBS team. They're not even, I don't even think they're eligible for a Conference USA championship until 2015, so I don't know why they were even in NCAA. But they're a transitional team. They play a semi-FBS schedule, I think half and half. Let me check their schedule. They're 4-2. They did lose to the two FBS teams on their schedule. They have actually 4 FBS teams on their schedule this season. East Carolina, Maryland, they lost to, throttled by Maryland. They got Pitt, and then Idaho, and North Carolina is 5. My bad. They're coming off wins against Howard. They scored 76. The Citadel beat them by 159-58. Albany 66-10, and Liberty 21-17. But don't ask me why. Don't ask me how. I think Old Dominion goes in there and shocks the world. Pittsburgh lost to Youngstown State last year by 2 touchdowns. I'm not sure if it's going to be 2 touchdowns, but I expect Old Dominion to put up a ton of points. The defense isn't great for Old Dominion. I think Pittsburgh, Isaac Bennett has a big game, and Tom Savage comes back, has a big game. But I just have a feeling Tyler Heineke can lead Old Dominion over Pittsburgh with a victory here. I'm going to go 35-32. Old Dominion with the upset. Just watch out, though. Watch out. I could be wrong. As always, I'm not perfect. Pitt could come out win by 80. But gut feeling, Old Dominion over Pitt. My gut feeling got me a win last week, Missouri over Georgia. So here we go. Texas State playing at home against Georgia State. Simply put, not going to go on the route. Another rant about it. Georgia State, horrible, worst team I honestly believe ever in the history of the FBS. Texas State will win big, 28-14 over Georgia State. USC at Notre Dame. Hey, USC's been playing heck of a good. What the frick am I saying? Good football. They've been playing good football. Ever since Lane Kiffin's been fired. I think that might have been the first game, but they beat Arizona down pretty bad. Looks like Cody Sessler's looking pretty good. Playing that night, playing at home against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I think they come out, look strong. I think Tommy Rees comes back and proves his data wrong. So I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people make him out to be. It's ridiculous how people jump on the hate bandwagon so fast, because Notre Dame fans were saying there wasn't be much drop off from Everett Golson to Tommy Rees. And he played good the first couple weeks, and he's played bad, and so much hate's been on him. I think he comes out and wants to prove the country wrong in a big game. I mean, Notre Dame USC is one of the biggest rivalries in football, and you hardly hear anything about it right now. I wouldn't like to say the programs are down, but they're not, highly rated like they've been years past. So, in a unusual, unhyped rivalry game, Notre Dame will win close. I think USC's playing a lot better defense is good at USC. If Tommy Rees can stay away from the picks, Notre Dame will win. I think he can do it just enough. 24-21 Notre Dame over USC. I'm going to say Florida State Clemson for last. Wisconsin at Illinois. Illinois is getting better. That offense is getting better slowly as the offense is getting better as the defense slowly gets better under Tim Beckman. So don't sleep on Illinois. Nathan Schillhouse can make some plays, but Wisconsin is a heck of a team. I hate how they lose every year in the worst fashions, and they're always a really good team, but they always lose in the worst ways. So close, but I think they go into Champaign, they get a big win, run for 200, 300 yards. Defense and Chris Borland gets a couple picks, couple sacks. They'll win pretty big. I'll go 34-17 over Illinois. Ooh, this is a pretty good game actually. Nevada at Boise State. Um, ooh, Boise State got the win last week against who? Against who was it? Um, Utah State. I believe Chucky Keaton actually got hurt in this game. And then you have Nevada coming off of a loss against San Diego State. What? San Diego State is horrible, but hey, they do have a bye week. But playing in Nevada or in Boise State, my bad, in front of the blue turf at night, they don't lose at home at night. Joe Southwick and the fighting blue turfs under Chris Peterson won't find a way to lose. They'll find a way to win with the frick. Cody Fajardo is a good quarterback. Don't know if he's 100% yet. Not swelling that Nevada defense, and that's why I'm going Boise State. Semi-good defense in this one. High scoring, though. That kind of contradicts myself, but 42-35 over Nevada. Rice at New Mexico. Rice can score some points. No, New Mexico State can't. Rice 34, New Mexico State 20. Utah State and New Mexico, kind of the same situation here. Even I'm not sure if Chucky Keaton will play or not. Heck, I don't know. But disregard that fact. Utah State still will win. Has some talent around them. Let's go. 35-14. UNLV at Fresno State. Fresno State, a heck of a team. They could honestly be top 10 in the country. Like, for real. They're good. Big win. 52-10. No, 52. Let's go 52-17. Fresno State. Then Utah at Arizona. Arizona's disappointed me, man. I tried to go way off the radar early on in the season, giving a dark horse to shock the whole entire country and have a possibility at the national championship, and that was Arizona. And they have lost the 2 games, which I keyed in for them to have to win against Washington and USC. They're both coming off bye weeks, and they lost them both. Not because their offense has been bad. I don't disregard quarterbacks. Their defense hasn't been absolutely horrible. A step up from a season ago, but their quarterback play, B.J. Dinker, man, he's horrible. Seems like they'd have a better quarterback to run that offense under Rich Rod. But Utah, heck, they're a great team. I think they'll be able to expose that Arizona defense. Travis Wilson's a heck of a quarterback. They lost the UCLA game just because he threw 6 picks, and that's so unlike him. I don't know what happened to him in that game, but they had 2 losses. That one game against UCLA, the other overtime loss against a good Oregon State team. So I'm gonna go Utah, big, 45-20 over Arizona. All right, 3 games left. Oregon State at Cal. Cal demolished last week by UCLA. I think Oregon State does the exact same, but even worse. Sean Mannion is a heck of a quarterback. I really don't know how their defense played so badly for one loss to Eastern Washington. They didn't need to be top 10 in the country right now. Sean Mannion is a man. Sean Mannion's a man. Keep that in your head. He's thrown for almost 30 touchdowns, maybe. He's ridiculous. He's thrown for leading the country in passing touchdowns, passing yards. Oregon State's #1 in passing efficiency in the country. Oregon State big in this game. I'm gonna go 52-21 over Cal. All right, Washington State at Oregon. As much as I want Oregon to get knocked off, playing at home at night against Washington State, no chance. They'll be blown out. Washington State's not horrible, but I think I've repeated myself a ton of times when talking about Oregon. They'll play against anywhere from average to below teams, and they'll blow them out. They'll blow them out 70-10, 56-20. It's all these blowout scores. And I mean, if Washington State accept it, they're, I believe, an average team, maybe a little bit below average on the rise right now. But when they play against stiff competition, they tend to struggle and sometimes lose, sometimes come out with a victory, maybe by luckily a touchdown or 2, or lose. and that's why I think they'll lose one of UCLA or Stanford, or maybe Utah if they end up playing Utah. I'm not sure if they actually have Utah on their schedule. And let me check that real quick if you guys don't mind. Yeah, they do actually. Ooh, after this week, they have a tough 3-game stretch. Pretty much 5 games that they really could lose. And I think they lose one of these. They play Washington State, that's a win. UCLA, that's a toss-up right there. Stanford, a toss-up. Utah, the way Utah's been playing, I believe that's going to be closer than people think. Maybe a toss-up. Arizona, far-fetched, but not impossible. Oregon State, a Friday night. That's a rivalry game, maybe undefeated going into this game. This is the type of game that you get up for if you're Oregon State. They could potentially go into this game with 1 loss, and that would be amazing if Oregon State could win that game. And the offense they have, that's a toss-up, I believe. It's an insane offense they got. They can't run the football, but they have a good offense. Good passing game. So, what am I talking? What game? Oregon. Oregon 55-21 over Washington State. So here we go, guys. Time for my annual prediction on how long this video has been going on for. I'll go 45 minutes, 51 minutes. Oh my god. What else do I have? I have to do a lot of stuff. Frick. Alright. I'm going to be tired tomorrow. I have a math test I got to study for. I have a lot of history I got to read. Got to print out some stuff. Just wasting some more time. I have to write a history of the English paper. I finish that Teddy Bridgewater evaluation. But my average time going to sleep on Sunday nights because of these videos has been like 1:30. Waking up at 5:30-ish, 5:30-ish. So I'm used to it. It's not bad though because I go throughout Monday. It's a long day. Frick, I don't care. I'm making this video longer. Monday's a long day for me. I get up at 5:30, get to school about 8-ish. But yeah, I'm supposed to be at school at 8. I've been late lately to class. But then I have a long day full of classes. I actually have a lab on Monday too, which is until 4 o'clock. And then I go record my show afterwards. So that's like 6:30 right there, leaving. And the 50-minute drive home, that's about 7:30 right there. But I'm thinking about working out tomorrow to get that over with. Because once I get home from that long day, I do not feel like working out coming off that short sleep. So I'm going to try to do it as I'm at school so I can try to stay on pace. Because I'm doing pretty good with that. And I'm off Tuesday, so that's good. I get to sleep in Tuesday, which really makes up for tomorrow. Okay, let's get off of that rampage there. Alright, I've stalled long enough, because I'm not real sure what I want to do here. Florida State at Clemson. Primetime game. So the South Alabama game's at 2 o'clock. We'll be over probably about 5:30-ish. Getting out by 6. Hopefully I'll be home in time for this one. Because this is a game I've been circling on my calendar. I want to watch. Alabama comes on at 6. I'll probably be late for that one. So I'll probably keep the Florida State one on my laptop. And Alabama there. But, who do you want to pick? Clemson, they got caught looking ahead. I don't think Clemson's that bad. I don't think Boston College is as bad as people make them out to be. But still, with what people are portraying Clemson as, they shouldn't have lost or almost lost to Boston College. They should not be losing to Boston College at the start of the fourth quarter. They have Florida State coming off a bye week, so hey, there's something right there. But obviously, Clemson's mind wasn't in the Boston College game. They're in the Florida State game mindset. But Clemson's shown they can play good teams at home and win. They beat Georgia this season. They've not really had trouble with anybody else aside from Boston College. I take that back. They had trouble with NC State. Now it's at NC State. They're playing at home here. But the difference here really is Clemson's shown to have trouble. Florida State has it. Florida State semi-struggled in one game, and that was to Boston College. And Boston College put up a ton of points, actually. But Jameis Winston, man, he is a heck of a quarterback. This is going to be a fun quarterback matchup here. Tyler Boyd, who hasn't really put up the numbers thus far, but he's won ball games. That's all that matters. You have Jameis Winston, who's first onto the scene, which was really expected by a lot of people because I even wrote this in one of my papers too. I actually wrote this in an article for the school paper. That the reason Jameis Winston is in the Heisman race. I had like a top 5 Heisman throughout week 6 of the season, or week 7, whatever. I had him at number 5, I think, and the reason he needs to thank Johnny Manziel for being in the Heisman race, because without Johnny Manziel, he's not. I mean, I know he's played great and all, but he's not. The reason why is because coming into the season, there's so many segments in ESPN, so many articles looking and trying to find that one guy, trying to predict who's going to be that next Johnny Manziel freshman to burst into the scene. And everybody was looking for Jameis Winston, so he was already in the spotlight before he even took a snap. And when he comes on prime time, first game of his career, when everybody's looking for him to be the next Johnny Manziel, and he plays his booty off, throws more touchdowns than incompletions, that's gonna help your little race there. So I mean, I'm stalling so much. I have not really thought who to pick here, because it's gonna be such a fun game to watch. So close. Florida State's had Clemson's number in the past. That was at Florida State. Clemson. I'm just feeling Florida State. I'm feeling Florida State. I think they can get the win. I think Jameis Winston, that offense, is playing at a higher level right now, even though it's presumed that Clemson has the more firepower players on offense. I just feel like Florida State's executing at a better level. Jameis Winston's actually playing better than Tyler Boyd right now. I know Clemson has the better win, the better playing against better competition, and they're playing at home. But I feel like Florida State comes in here and coming off a bye week, which is huge. Clemson's coming off a semi-emotional win. It can be either an emotional loss or emotional win. Okay, stick with me. But I'm just feeling Florida State. I'm feeling their offense. I'm feeling their running game. Feeling their passing game. Jameis Winston I think he has the highest completion percentage in all of college football. Get me wrong there, but coming off a 63-0 win against Maryland in a bye week, they're sitting pretty, and I think they can beat Clemson. High-scoring game, I must say, but let's go. I'm gonna go 38 to 30. Do I want to have 31 or 34? 38 to 34. Florida State over Clemson. And it's gonna be a fun one. So I'm probably getting a lot of hate there, but gotta pick somebody. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did, and please let me know what your predictions are and picks are and your disagreements in my video in the comment section below. So once again, hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please follow me at Twitter at twitter.com/S3RTR. Have a great day. Roll Tide, go Sox, go Titans to you. Till next time. Peace.